Yo, people, picture it. It's the O2 Arena in London. There's 20,000 people in the building. Millions watching via stream, whether it be YouTube or whatever the case may be. Yeah? There's 4 stages. There's 4 songs. And there can only be one winner. But check it though. In the corner, the one team where nobody rated, most people came to us laugh at, was us. And like 1 minute, it probably was 5 or 10 minutes, but it felt like 1 minute. Before the first round, we get the dub plate. The dub plate lands. That's going to change the whole entire night. The whole night. We hadn't even had a chance to fully mix it or anything like that yet. All we knew is this is the dub that we've been waiting on for a month. And this dub is going to change the whole perspective of the largest sound clash in history. You see, when you watch recap videos a lot, though, there's a lot of stories that don't get told. And I'm going to keep it a bean, a buck, whatever. When it came to this particular clash, and if you are clicking here because you saw the little clickbait that I put up, when it came to this particular clash, the superstars got all the limelight, as is right. I understand that. But every kind of interview sounded like everybody saying how they individually won the culture clash. The truth about it is it was a whole team of us. There's a whole lot of us. Wooly Powers behind the scenes that didn't even get a mention, that should get a mention. So this right now, this particular soundboy sat there. I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to go behind the scenes and speak to you about what happened when it came to the Red Bull Culture Clash 2016, the one that we won, and how we managed to win it. Being a small team that people told, oh, if you can just win one round, it'll be all right. No. We didn't step out just to win one round. My name's Cersei. We came to win the whole blood clot thing. And I don't care what you feel is going to happen. I'm telling you what's going to happen. You see, every week on this Soundboy Saturday, I try and go delve into the culture. Delve into the reasons why things exist. Whether it be the sounds, whether it be the clashes, whether it be the rhythms, whether it be the people who built this entire thing. From nothing. From just speaker boxes and amps and wires and a dream to something. But you see, today's not a history lesson. Today is my story. Yeah? You know, I always say, if we don't tell our stories, then who the fuck will? I'm going to tell it. So on the 17th of June, 2016, I stood on one of the 4 stages of the Red Bull Culture Clash with a crew called Mix Pack. And we did the impossible. We did what the whole industry was telling us that we couldn't do. The whole industry was saying, yo, just turn up, own your place, don't make too many waves, shut your mouth. And over the years, I watched people tell the story. I watched the interviews. I watched the credit go to everybody. And every single time, it's the same problem I've got. The same thing happens. The people who actually built it the people in the background that made sure all the bricks and everything was in place, those are the people who never get mentioned. And I figured on this soundboy Saturday we're gonna get into that. This is my version of putting the record straight. We're gonna make sure that they get their flowers. God, that's how it's supposed to be. Now, before we get into what happened in the sound clash, for those of you that may be new to this thing, I think it's only right that we explain to you what a sound clash is. And I'm not trying to dumb it down. I'm not trying to diminish maybe your experience. I just think it's only right to bring you in so that you understand what I want. Because your only experience of sound clash could have just been culture clash, right? But you need to understand the enormity of what we did. And to understand that, we need to break it down. So a sound clash, our sound clash, was born in Jamaica back in the days, right? Where sound systems were created by having a selector. You'd have your speakers, you'd have your amps, speakers being your speaker boxes, your operator. Obviously, you'd have your music and you set up on a lawn. It may be 2 sounds, it may be 4 sounds. And then you go to war. And it's not about fists, and it's your community that backs your sound. So your community is back. It's like a football match, right? Your community, your people back your sound. Their community, their people back their sound. You draw for tune, you go 1 for 1. Anthem for anthem. Rhythm for rhythm. And whoever's got the best wins. It's as simple as that. Consider it to be like gladiators. Musical gladiators. If you've got the biggest dub, if you pull out the biggest tune, you win. And sometimes you just have the biggest, the baddest, and the loudest sound, and you just turn up your sound for another sound. Like so. Whoop. Up goes the volume, you drown out the other sound, they have to go home. Sometimes a sound system could have their own artists. So like artists like Beanie Man, Bounty, Bojo, Ninja Man, Supercat, they all have their particular sound. Sizzler. They roll with their particular sound. So it could be a sound with their, what we would call DJs being artists, versus the next song with their artists. So not only do you have dubs with your sound name in it, you have your artists. You also have your mic man. And I want you to just keep that in your mind for a quick second. Because we had one of the greatest mic men and selectors in all Clash history on our song. So yeah, people, if you are clicking here because of the clickbait post that I put up and I said, well, I did it all by myself, quite clearly it wasn't all by myself. We had a team. And that team had some of the greatest names, our biggest names in dancehall culture at that time and of all time. So, but the one thing that we had grown to appreciate was that dancehall was just a niche. We love dancehall and we feel like dancehall is the biggest thing in the world, right? But the world is a big place. So in 2010, that whole sound clash history that I showed you, Red Bull decided, how can we make this into a thing? So they decided, well, we just get different cultures to clash, right? So the first one was Soul to Soul versus Metalheads, Trojan Sound System, and there was one more, and please forgive me, I think it was Digital Mystics. That was dancehall or reggae versus, or it was dub versus soul music versus house music versus drum and bass. And that was 2010. Then it went to Boy Better Know in 2012, who was Grime, of course. Easy win for them. Then we get to 2014, and this is the one where I want you to be particularly interested in people. This was at Earl's Court now, so it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Needed to deep this. At Earl's Court, arguably now the biggest culture clash. The winners were a crew called Rebel Clash. Rebel Sound. And on that sound, you had arguably one of the allegedly greatest reggae clashers and selectors, and he goes by the name of David Rodigan. Even if you don't think he's one of the greatest, you can appreciate that he's one of the most respected selectors, mic men, etc. He's given his whole life to Jamaican music. He's given his whole life to reggae music. But when it came to the culture clash, David Rodigan went to war alongside the drum and bass genre. Rebel Sound was big. Don't get it. Don't be confused. But Rodigan went to war with Chase and Status, alongside Chase and Status and Shy FX and all of them, man. Not with reggae. On the reggae side in 2014, was the greatest sound system of all time, Stone Love. And Stone Love got beaten up badly. Embarrassingly. So when you look at that, one of arguably the greatest reggae selectors didn't have the faith to go and defend reggae music on that major stage. And maybe it was a different time of his life. And one of the greatest reggae sound systems got beat up. So what was that saying for us? That was primarily saying, you guys do not have a chance in 2060. Don't worry about it. Just come, make up the numbers, and go on about your business. We got to turn this light down. Sheesh. Ooh. Let's cool it down. So here we are. Like I said to you, people kept on saying to me, "Oh, you need to win a round. Just win a one round. If you win a one round, then we'll be proud of you." That was ultimately the message that I was getting at the time. Ain't gonna lie to you, people. Kind of made me feel away. But why I did more than anything was I just said, "All right, cool. Just win a one round. I'll accept that." But in truth, I wasn't just turning up to win a one round. We knew what we had to do. So let me tell you how that went. 1 month before the clash was to happen, I got a phone call. And the phone call said, "Yo, Sarah, would you like to be on Team Jamaica at the Culture Clash?" Now, just a little history on me. I'd already hosted a few of the regional Culture Clashes. So I didn't know who was going to be on the team. Didn't know what the team was. All I know is it's going to be Team Jamaica, Team Reggae, etc. Now, I just said, "Boy, okay, I'm not sure. Let me get back to you." Of course I was sure. Of course I knew what I wanted to do, people. I hung up the phone and I must have picked up the phone straight away and forgot about what the business instruction. You know, them 48 powers of law? Sure. I just went back and said, yo, I'm in. Who's in the crew? And the answer was, well, I'm not too sure, but it's probably going to be Mixpack and others. No problem. Now, if you don't know who Mixpack is a independent label that was based in Brooklyn. We went on further to find out that Popcorn was going to be involved, Spice was going to be involved, Cranium, Jubilee, etc. So when I looked at that, I recognized that, and J Skull, I don't know if I mentioned J Skull, big up J Skull, every single time. When I looked at the ensemble, I realized that, yeah, we're a big team in our scene, but globally, it may not necessarily be that big, and we're definitely not going to be the favorites. We're going to be the underdogs. Like I told you, we had one of the greatest selectors of all time, Tony Mataran. Biggest artist, Popcorn, Cranium, and Spice again, Queen of Dancehall. But they didn't. But when they announced it, and we found out who we were going up against, that was the crazy part, right? The crazy part was we're going up against Wiz Khalifa and Taylor Gang. We're going up against Wiley with the Eskimo sound. We're going up against UK Garage All Stars. Yeah? So that's flipping all of them on there. So Solid Crew, so on and so forth. So like again, when I say to you, people that said to me, people are respected in the scene, people are loved, people who are not only friends of mine, people are considered family. They was just like, yo, just take a round, man. All you need to do is aim for a 1 round. Once you get that 1 round, you can be proud, you can be happy. Yeah? Because you will have done more than anybody else that was supporting and repping pure reggae and dancehall. No. You know when they say, if everybody thinks something and you think something different, maybe you're the problem? I was thinking to myself, I was the problem. Because I said to one of my brethren, one of my closest brethren, goes by the name of Jason Bailey. Big up Jason Bailey every time. I said, bro, I'm going to win this shit. Everybody else would have thought I was crazy. So I just laughed along and said, yeah, man, I 1 round. But with Jay, I said, yo, I'm going to win this shit. And the man said, all right then. Go on with it. Never no self-pity, no questions, but I believed in myself so deeply and believed in what we were trying to do so deeply. And I don't know why. And years later, I kind of thought about it. And I was carrying so much emotionally at that time that I think those emotions carried me through, and those emotions gave me the belief. I'd lost a few family members at the time, like literally months before, and one of my family members was diagnosed with an illness and wasn't given long. And the relevance that kind of bears on where my mental state was at the time is deep. I was just doing everything for not only myself, but for them as well, because they were all music people. All in whatever way, shape, or form pushed me as far as this music thing is concerned. So I suppose a huge part of me being as convinced and as determined as I was definitely because of that. And that's just how it is. And I wasn't walking in that building to nick around. I was walking in there with the full belief that this was going to be our moment. Before we get to the clash, I must tell you, people, you need to understand that a clash is not that moment when you step on the stage and you play the big tune. A clash isn't one then. You know where a clash is won? A clash is won in the war room. It's won weeks before the actual event. It's won in the studio. It's won when you're writing the dubs. When you're on the phone at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to chat to a artist to make sure that the names are pronounced correctly. 4 or 5 weeks of madness before this particular event. Even Dre Skull, if you listen to his interviews, he will tell you it was 16 hours a day. Daily chase for dubs. Because if you know about dubs, you know sometimes people will say to you, oh, yeah, well, the artist is in the studio, and the artist is not in the studio. The research behind the scenes, the phoning around, the strategy. We got hundreds of dubs. Hundreds. And most of them never even saw the light of day. Most of them weren't played. Regular tunes weren't going to make it. Those dubs that we cut, some of them that didn't make it would have killed off most sounds. But they're in the vault right now. I believe J Skull did a dub mix on SoundCloud. You can find it, you can listen to it. I want to big up all of the DJs, all of the artists that made those dubs possible. It's impossible for me to name them all right now. But every single one of those artists, every single one of you, big up yourself. And I want to big up, before we start getting into other details, the glue that held us as a team together. Because remember, you got people that are emotional, you got people that are passionate, me being one of them, but you need cool heads on that as well to lead. Big up J Skull, big up Suze, the large. Running around tirelessly behind the scenes, sourcing this, sourcing that, making sure contracts and all of that. People that made that happen, that don't get the credit that they deserve, big up you. Suze with the logistics and so on. At the heart of it all, we're going to speak on somebody that's my sister for life. Portia Clark. But also, let's speak on all of those dubs that you heard. You heard weighty, bass drop. We were clash ready. Made sure we had the ammunition for the fight. Once we had the dubs ready, they had to get mixed. For those that don't know what mixing is, it's making sure that the levels sound correctly so that when you play in big arenas, it don't sound tiny. Big up Safari he was in NY at the time. He was part of J Skull's camp. And big up Jay Lean. Jay Lean is my brother. Freestyle, one of the baddest freestylers in the world. Jay Lean made sure them dubs sounded weighty. So big him up. Big up Shaudo as well. Brother Shaudo. People are getting a joke, right? Shaudo forwarded to the clash with me. And I gave Shaudo the GoPro. I said, bro, I'm not even going to be thinking about what footage to get rare. Make sure you get some footage of everybody boom, 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 boom. There's film footage of Shaudo jumping up and down on stage. Did that brother get any footage? No. Too excited and jumping around on stage with shout out. I love you still, bro. But it wasn't all peace in that studio when we was recording dubs. There's a lot of challenges in fighting. Not even fighting, but challenges definitely. And that was mainly me and Tony Mataran. Tony Mataran, you need to understand, Tony Mataran is a Don. He's a Don. He's the general, the admiral, the colonel, whatever, colonel, the commander. When it comes to this clash thing. Legend. Full stop. But Tony didn't know me. Right? So he didn't know that I was born for this. I too have my history. I too have my street, my stripes. I battle on street corners from Birmingham to Kingston. I've been in all of the clubs. I've been on some of the biggest festival stages in the world. And I've also been in the underground places where people wouldn't venture. So when it comes to clash, and when me and Tony were clashing, I was speaking on the experience and that I had. And of course, he's speaking from his legendary experiences, being in some of the greatest clashes of all time. But I also had a knowledge of this music, and I had a knowledge of this particular industry from this angle that was valuable. But it wasn't just. In fact, the music wasn't the main clash that we had. It wasn't even a dub. The main clash that we had, that me and the team had, was about an artist. And nobody actually dares to admit this one. It was bringing on Big Nasty. Now, Big Nasty, living in the UK, I understood the cultural impact of Big Nasty. Big Nasty was in 2016, Big Nasty was the man. And so the elements of the team that didn't live in the UK didn't really understand that Big Nasty had such cultural weight and such a cultural impact. They were more like, yeah, man, if we're gonna get live arts, make we get gigs and make we get. And I was like, yeah. That all made sense. But this guy, Big Nasty, he's gonna be like our Messi or our Ronaldo. He's gonna be the guy that changes the game. Because people would expect all of those other moves, but they wouldn't expect this. Eventually, people are like, the team was like, why? And Dre, I gotta big up Dre, because Dre backed me on this one. Dre Skull said, if you say that's the move, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna trust you. And I said, all right. Now, people, I want you to now think about when Big Nasty touched that stage. What happened? The whole place turned over. Big Nasty stepped up. Dreadlock wig. Everybody on the team that doubted me was like, okay, Cero, all right. And I'm proud of that. But he definitely was one of our unsung heroes. And I'm so thankful for everybody trusting the vision with that one. Because I know even Nasty had his reservations, because he said, I'm not in that suck your mother thing, if a boy tell me if you suck my mother, is a problem. And I was like, yo, bro, it won't happen. Please trust me. And he did trust me. And there was some sucky mothers that flew about, but not at Big Nasty. I mentioned her name prior, but there's one person that her service to black music in the UK, black music culture, especially Caribbean music culture in the UK, it should never be understated. Big up Portia Clark. And even if you feel like she gets big up too much, I don't. You big her up some more. Because Portia Clark, what she does behind the scenes for this thing, most people don't know. They don't see the outcome. But she's some of the glue that holds this whole thing together. So I already told you that when the major dub landed in our hands, it was like a minute. It may have been a little bit more than a minute, to be honest. But it was about a minute before we stepped on stage. And we were like, all right, We got the nuclear option right now. We got some big dubs, but we got the nuclear option right now, because it was the biggest tune of the time. So let us talk about the night. Round by round. Let's get ready. The O2 is packed to the rafters. Annie Mac is hosting. There's 4 sounds, like I've said, 4 armies. Think about that. You had Eskimo dance, Wiley's crew, but the whole grime camp. People basically thought it was gonna be UKG versus Eskimo. Let's get to it. Anyway, you had UKG All-Stars, the Garage Crew, legends, so solid, Sticky, the whole of them. You had Wiz Khalifa and the Taylor Gang flying the hip-hop flag, the US flag. What them know about Clash? And then you had us. You had us. Smallest team. So we had to be smart. You know what we did? Darkness. Lock off the light in the whole place. We locked off every light. Here's what we wanted to come through the systems, the sound system. O2, are you ready? What's going on? Soul to soul classic. Mix packs here. A sound boy's gonna die. And that is clear. Jesus! The whole place started to bubble. We had to start from the foundation and show the people so we know the thing. Mix pack is gonna murder. Mix pack is gonna kill your song. We ain't stepped on the stage yet. You know? We have not stepped on stage yet with us there, and it's darkness. The screen hasn't dropped yet. After that, my opinion, this is the biggest dub that we played for the entire night. My opinion, but it went over some people's head. Red Fox, my brother, my brethren. Hear what the man said. Eskimo not get no pussy tonight. UKG not get no pussy tonight. The whole place erupts. We're going straight into Ninja Man, murder them. The place is going crazy, wild. Now remember, I know all of the different scenes. So what we tried to do with that first round, which I believe we got teeth done, was kill everybody immediately, show them that we knew what we was dealing with. So from Beanie Man dubs to Walk and Skank to Serrani to Dexter Daps to everything, we flung the whole kitchen sink after everybody. Cranium comes out. Nobody happen to say, Jesus! But when Cranium finished his live performance, right? Imagine, Cranium said, fuck you, fuck Wiz Khalifa, fuck UKG, fuck Eskimo. It's like, oh my gosh. Big Tobes, you know my style. You know my, yeah. They did their thing. I told you we had the dubs. Me, I was doing my thing as well. I had little lions. I called UKG, UK garbage. Wiz Khalifa, I called him Jizz Khalifa. And Tony Mataran did something smart. At the end of each round, Tony got the crowd to chant Mix Pack. It was a smart move. Very, very smart move. But you had all of them coming out saying, oh, you're not real dancehall. Who are you? Who are you? You ain't real. Who are you? It was like, how can we not be real dancehall? Tony Mataran, the greatest selector of all time. Spice, the queen of dancehall. Popcorn, the current king of dancehall. Cranium, I'd like to say the Sing J, but he's like one of the baddest ever. We got Dre Skull. We got Jubilee. And we got me. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that we're not real dancers. Suck up, sure. Anyway, so like I told you, the whole team and everybody in that corner, from we did that first round, the first round was legendary. Bap! We didn't win nothing. Pissed. We definitely felt we supposed to win. So the next round's a selector. It's pure tune. Sneak Bowl opens for us. Yeah, we give them the little UK anthem. Press our button. Yeah? Whole place erupts again. Press our button, sorry. But this is getting a little bit chaotic. Because this is round 2. And I got to tell you why it got chaotic. We spoke to the Red Bull production team, and the Red Bull production team said to us, we got some inflatable balloons, right? And we said, okay, no problem. And we're going to throw the inflatable balloons on stage. Yeah, little scenery, little vibes. What they actually did, people, and I swear it was about 100 balloons, massive inflatable beach ball type balloons. They were throwing them on stage. So now it's drowning. We're drowning in these. Tony, you're my brother. The General Tony. Now, all of these balloons is all over the stage. Tony Mataran loses it and starts screaming out, balloon! 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 I'm kicking the balloons on stage. The crowd's bouncing them back on stage. Batting them back to me. So I'm kicking it up. They're batting it back. Tony's kicking them up. They're batting it back. Tony's flinging them up there. Because we're now thinking, oh shit, Spice is going to forward on stage. And Poppy's going to forward on stage. This is craziness. When you watch it, you'll see me running to the stage hands and saying, yo, get them off. Get them off the stage. Hilarious. But the inflatables made an appearance. Balloon! Anyway, we finally managed to calm it down. Out steps Spice. She had the viral moment. She had the viral moment of the entire night, of the entire arena, of everything. Spice. Wiz Khalifa hit me boom boom. The place went crazy. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Papi came and did his thing and smashed. Madness. Now let me tell you about round 3. Round 3. The coffins. This round was called Sleeping with the Enemy. This is the round where I think I can tell the story now. I lived out something I swore to do from I was a kid. I want you to rewind all the way to 1996. Mad Cobra versus Ninja Man. That clash is burnt into my memory. I'll tell you why. A lot of people reference Super Cat and Ninja Man. But I'll tell you this. Mad Cobra versus Ninja Man. And Cobra's killing him. But Cobra brings out a coffin on stage. And as a kid, you're watching that, you say, yo, if I ever get the opportunity to do that, ever, that's exactly what I want to do. Almost 20 years to the day, I'm in one of the biggest clashes in the world. And I say, yo, we got to bring out some coffins. So we found a theater place that does props. I said to them, you have coffins? They said, yeah, we do. It's going to be expensive, but we got them for you. You can hire them for the night. I said, yeah. So we had 3 coffins and 3 wreaths for the night. 1 for Eskimo, 1 for UKG, 1 for Taylor Gang. We came to bury all of these 3 at once. We lined up the coffins and we rolled the video of Big Nasty talking about dead sounds. And I want to say one thing, big up to Tony Black, because if it wasn't for Tony Black, we wouldn't have got Big Nasty to come to forward. So big up Tony Black, my brother. So Big Nasty finishes the skit. Uncle Payne, oh, there's dead sounds. Then he says, fuck it, I'm forwarding. Steps on stage. Rasta wig. I knew what he was going to do. Does what he does best. The place lost it. I would say largest reaction of the night. Why? We understood the scene. We understood what it was going to take. We understood that we were the Messi of this thing. And not to mention, after that, we also had Jay Huss, who was fresh out. Them boy pagan, whole place went mad. Rightfully so. Madness. How the fuck this tiny crew that ain't supposed to know can pick out the culture? Understand so much about the culture that they can represent it to us in this way or present it to us in this particular way. Of course. That's what turned it into the biggest sound clash of all time. The whole of the O3 couldn't believe their eyes. So let's go to round 4, tune for tune. We've been setting up traps all night. Remember I mentioned that there was a little issue because people believe that Drake had removed Popcorn from one of the songs. It's double points for this particular round, right? For the round winner. So effectively, at this point, I believe everybody had 1 round so far. Fecky all night had been going at Poppy. Fecky from Eskimo Squad. Been going at Poppy all night. Poppy, they removed you, Poppy. Poppy, you ain't who you... It is, listen. So, Poppy grabs the mic. I was scared. Now, Poppy starts to say...
Hold on. I want to say much respect to Wiley.
Fecky! All night you've been talking about Drake, blood.
Y'all talk about Drake all night. Seems like you're obsessed with Drake, blood.
I remember we were setting the traps anyway. Anyway, Poppy grabs the mic. All night you talking about Drake, blood. It seemed like you're obsessed with Drake, blood. I'm like, if you know, you know. I was hoping that a certain thing wasn't said. Then Poppy says, play the tune. Baby, I need to know. Bop, 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 bop. Erupted. Fecky's face like... Dub plate in your head top. Killed the song. 20,000 people on their feet. The whole place thinking we couldn't manage it. Then realizing we are them. And when Annie came out and announced, the winner is Mix Pack! And we drew for Palance, a nod to the wider Caribbean to say that it's us. And that was Tony's dub and Tony's selection, by the way. It wasn't just a win for Jamaica. It was a win for the Caribbean. It was a win for the culture. It was a win for the islands. It was a win for everybody that was told that they can't be what they want to be. That they can't achieve something because they come from a certain place. It was a win for everybody that look like, sound like, and are like us. We were told that we were going to win because stagehand had heard it over the headphones. Obviously, they're controlling the people, right? So I remember I'm at the forefront of all of this. He looks at me, and he's about to announce the winner, right? He looks at me, he gives me the nod, and he says, "You've got it." But I'm thinking I'm the only one that sees and hears this. Everybody else, because we're on some stairs. So everybody else has heard this. So now everybody wants to surge forward and rush the stage. I'm holding the two, what do you call it? Barriers? Banisters. Like so. Trying to stop 100 people from rushing the stage. Because if we rush the stage, we're disqualified. And I'm like, yo, no, we can't rush. I'm holding on for dear life. Everybody wants to get on stage. Not yet. Make her announce it, then we can. This is the biggest moment, probably, of a lot of people's music history at that time. Big up Jazzy as well, not to forget. Then it's official. That the winner of this round is Mix Pack. That means the winner of the Culture Clash 2016 is Mix Pack. Place goes mad. We win the war. What everybody told us that we couldn't do. We, a collective we, us. And you know one of the most key moments for me in that clash? When we finished and I saw Mega Man backstage, I saw Kano backstage. And the man them was cool, man. These man are grime and garage royalty, and you know, the man there said to me, you know what, brother, well done. I feel like Sticky still got beef with me to this day. Yeah, I'm joking. But that meant everything. God, it was just like, yeah, you man fought. You fought for it. There was an after party. And anybody that knows me knows that when the dance is finished, when the event's finished, it's my habit. I normally just go, yeah, that's me. I'm done. I'm going. Say my goodbyes, high fives, spuds, and keep it moving. So everything is finished, and I'm ready to go. My boy Jay Lean, my brother, same guy that mixed the dubs. He's my freestyle partner. We've toured the world doing this thing called freestyle. So arguably he knows me probably better than most people. He sees me getting ready to leap and he stops me and he says, yo, not tonight. I said, what? I said, tonight, you're going to stay and soak up the glory. You did this. You did the work. It's your moment. You got to have that. So I stayed, trophy under my arm, in the dance like this. About half hour. showed my love, and then, yeah, said my goodbyes. I went home to bed. World champion! Went home to bed. And that was 10 years ago. And the truth is, that even though we achieved so much, and you could argue that we weren't supposed to achieve an X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that some of the moments didn't impact me over the time. And like I say, when you watch people and you watch interviews and you watch these things, and if I'm giving a heartfelt, it does get frustrating sometimes when you know how much work you did and it goes unrecognized. And I want to take a moment. I want to take a brief, very brief moment out to big up my virgin Inye. Come to the camera for that. Cause my virgin, when I was getting frustrated, my virgin Inye said to me, he said, Cero, those who care know what this meant to you and how much you put into it. And those that don't care, you ain't gonna be able to convince them. And it really made me look at this whole thing from a different perspective. What did it change for me personally? Not much. What did it change for me spiritually and emotionally? Was a lot. And it fully gave me the recognition that as a Jamaican, it stays with me forever. We are truly little, but we talawa. So big up to everybody that played a part in us winning, everybody behind the scenes, everybody on the dubs, everybody on the music, everybody that did everything. 10 years later, we've seen the culture clash after, and we definitely know why Spice did an amazing job last year. But 10 years later, our victory still goes down in history as one of the greatest. And I'm so thankful to be a part of that. So yeah, I'm Sarah C. This is Soundboy Saturday. And you already know, like, share, subscribe, follow if you enjoy these stories. I'm going to give you some more inside stories next time. But for now, peace.
Which means the winner of the Red Bull Culture Clash 2016 is Mixpah!
Everything has to move to the left and to the right. Move to the left.